If you're looking for a classic JRPG to delve deep into, Lost Odyssey is the perfect choice, and right now I'm gonna show you why. Lost Odyssey has many big names behind its development. Written by none other than Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of the Final Fantasy series, and scored by another veteran of the Final Fantasy series, an absolute musical god, Nobuo Uematsu. This game should be a no-brainer for any JRPG fan. Now that we have some name dropping done, it's time to cover some of the story, some of my favourite areas, and then some of the characters that resonated with me. All of this will be as spoiler free as possible, and hopefully by the end of the video you'll be itching to play some Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey opens in the middle of an enormous magical war between two powerful nations, introducing us to a world ravaged by conflict. Amongst the chaos, Kaim emerges as a resilient warrior with the gift of immortality, but burdened by amnesia and an overwhelming sense of loss. As the scene unfolds, a colossal meteor drops on the battlefield, killing everyone that was within its radius. Surrounded by the aftermath of the devastating war, Kaim embarks on a journey to investigate Grand Staff, a massive magical facility, to investigate the potential misuse of powerful magic with his newly acquired friend and fellow immortals Seth and Jansen, a charismatic but somewhat untrustworthy character. The party navigates a world steeped in political intrigue, ancient magic, and personal redemption as they strive to unravel the mysteries shrouding Kaim's forgotten past and the true nature of immortality itself. The narrative is pushed even further by his dreams in the form of short stories, giving us additional glimpses into Kaim's past experiences and the lives of those he encountered along the way. The battle system in Lost Odyssey is a more traditional turn-based battle system, but it's a lot speedier than it sounds. Aided by the ring system to offer bonuses for perfect timing, it really is a joy to play. The rings are craftable and equipable accessories that grant useful passive power-ups or the ability to see stats and weaknesses, and when equipped, a large concentric ring appears during an attack that requires timed button presses for maximum damage, adding an engaging layer to the battles. Rows play a much bigger role than usual in Lost Odyssey thanks to GC, or guard condition, which is simply a wall between your back row and front row. The higher your GC level is, the less damage your back row will take, which makes it easier to keep your mages alive. And believe me, keeping them alive is huge. A well-varied team is the key to victory due to some enemies not being weak to physical attacks or even certain types of magic. Immortals and mortals work differently. While mortals learn new spells and abilities as they level up, the immortal characters don't, and so they must learn the abilities from the mortals through a process called skill link. There are a lot of ins and outs to magic and abilities in Lost Odyssey, and even some more progressive magics like compound magics that will surprise even veterans of the genre. Now on to some of the areas in the game, and first up is the Crimson Forest. The Crimson Forest gets its name from the surreal red colours of the plant life that inhabits it, said to be because of the blood of those that died there in a war long ago. As we navigate through the dense and winding pathways of the Crimson Forest, we encounter various environmental puzzles, hidden pathways and challenges along the way. Its overall atmosphere is enhanced by its haunting soundtrack, which only adds to the mystery and tension, complementing the surroundings and drawing us into the otherworldly and somewhat unsettling nature of the area. There's also a nice flow to the Crimson Forest, never letting it grow stale and giving a sense of progression as we move through the scenery. It's hauntingly beautiful, and it feels like there was so much thought put into making it the perfect fit for the story that unfolds here. Next I'm going to talk about the old sorceress's mansion, and much like the Crimson Forest, the mansion sets a haunting atmosphere. Its eerie presence is accentuated by its dilapidated Gothic architecture and dimly lit hallways, and this goes down to the smallest details. With creaking floorboards or haunting whispers, it's clear that a lot of time and effort was put into this area. As we play through the mansion, we encounter ghostly apparitions and witness supernatural happenings, which brings a layer of intrigue and even genuine horror as we never know what's about to happen around the next corner. What's more is, we also get to see the mansion in its former glory, which adds a nice contrast and sense of history to this beautiful building. And on top of all of that, there's fun puzzles, challenging enemies, and engaging plot, which is why I absolutely had to pick this area. And finally, there's Salmon, which design-wise was my favourite town, especially when you first visit. Seeing the American Gothic style architecture and the twisted tree that lies on the corner of the town shrouded in mist offers a haunting visual that stuck out to me instantly. The city itself is rather small, only really consisting of a main street and a port, but what it lacks in scale it more than makes up in lively and diverse inhabitants, from smugglers to talking cars, as well as a whole host of side quests and things to find in Salmon. The place is so entertaining entertaining and fun, but sadly it can't be fun all the time because we reach some pivotal story moments here too, and the town is so well designed that it feels like it transitions with the story perfectly. I felt Salmon was special from the moment I set foot in it, and it did not let me down one bit. The areas in Lost Odyssey are special because not one place is insignificant. Every area has layers of meaning and thought put into it. Secrets, treasures and side quests that don't overstay their welcome are prominent and add to the overall enjoyment and replayability of Lost Odyssey. The characters in Lost Odyssey are fully fleshed out and contain many layers of depth, especially with the history behind the immortal characters, giving them an enormous sense of history. So with that said, let's get into it. Kaim is an immortal warrior who has lived for over 1,000 years, yet he hasn't aged a day. He suffers from amnesia, unable to recall his past memories. Over the centuries, he has taken part in countless wars, witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, and endured the pain of losing loved ones. With his memory gone, he opts to be guarded and closed off emotionally, and only speaks few words throughout the early stages of the game. Kaim's journey revolves around rediscovering his lost memories and purpose. Fragments of his forgotten past slowly resurface, guiding him on a path of self-discovery and redemption. What I like about Kaim is, even though he is guarded and has his walls up, he recognizes when other people are feeling down or scared and offers kind words or support, signaling that even though he's an immortal warrior, he never lost his humanity. Seth is a compelling character whose strength, resilience and mysterious past adds depth to the game as a whole. As an immortal warrior, she shares a similar fate with Kaim, having lived for centuries and wrestling with lost memories and emotional detachment. She's confident and independent, however, Seth's no-nonsense attitude presents a stark contrast to Kaim's stoicism, providing a refreshing dynamic within the group. While initially guarded, Seth's character gradually reveals layers of depth and loyalty, especially in her interactions with Kaim and the other members of her party. Her evolution from an enigmatic figure to a trusted ally reflects her growth and development throughout this game. Seth's presence enriches the narrative, contributing greatly to the emotional depth within the game overall. And finally, it's Jansen, who I was worried was going to get stuck in the role of comic relief at the beginning, and thankfully that's not the case. While he does provide a lot of the comical moments throughout the game, and despite his carefree and irresponsible behaviour at times, he transitions from being solely a source of comic relief to a more integral part of the group dynamics. Throughout the game, Jansen's journey involves personal growth and development. Initially motivated by self-interest, he evolves from being self-centered into someone who genuinely cares about the well-being of his friends. He's a multifaceted character whose comical antics and personal growth make him a memorable addition to Lost Odyssey. His journey from self-serving intentions to genuine friendship with the party members is as compelling as it is satisfying. So in conclusion, is Lost Odyssey a perfect game? No. At times it maybe leans a little bit too much into the comedy when the tone didn't really call for it, and sometimes it can move on from some beautiful and emotional sequences a little too quickly. But overall, this game is more than worthwhile. The music, the scenery and the story all work together in a fulfilling and compelling game that I'm glad I experienced and I will definitely take part in again. The characters are all special and unique in their design, the puzzles are fun and don't overstay their welcome, the story and gameplay is solid and it still feels fresh even now. Lost Odyssey is one of the few standout JRPGs from the Xbox 360 era, and you absolutely need to play this game. Thank you so much for watching my video, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button for more videos on unforgettable games that you need to play.